Beautiful morning here from the Serenity Cricket Oval in Kamengo, where we have day 2 of the Batball Open Western Edition. Our first clash of the day is an encounter between Oruyongoyongo and Enyawawa. This will be the last group game before we move into the playoffs and on to the final later on in the afternoon. We shall have 4 games today, which include the final, but this is the last group game. And as of yesterday's end of action on day 1, Kayonza were family on top of the table with 2 wins, and they were waiting on these results to know if they'll be able to make it in the afternoon final. My name is Dennis Musali, and today I'll be doing the commentary alongside Innocent Ndaula. Innocent, good morning.
Good morning, Dennis. Nice to be here. You guys must have had a lot of fun without me yesterday. I'm happy to be at the Serenity Oval. Beautiful place, beautiful sights. The scenery from the Massacre Road gives you a perfect ambience. It's an Easter weekend, and hopefully somebody here will break the Easter egg. Could it be Enyawawa? Lots of interesting names as well for the teams in the fray. Seeing the team here from Chilembe looking sharp, playing some solid shots here. Early morning, good cricket. When you start well, things could go your way. 37 for no loss already. Looks like it's going to be a very, very good day.
Yeah, very true. Yesterday, I think the cricket was very, very exciting from the young players. All the teams now evenly poised. You just don't know who will be making the final this afternoon. But each one of them still in with a chance of making the final. The result today, whoever is on the right end of the result, at least will have also 2 wins. And then it will probably come down to net run of who goes to the final straight up. And the other teams move into the playoff. But for now, Oruyongoyongo doing everything right. 37 for no loss after 4.2 overs. Enyawawa need to find some inspiration if they're going to be able to chase down a very small total. But for now, Emmanuel Odeke and Naziri Chigwe are doing the business for Oruyongoyongo.
The sights, for me, Dennis, the setup, the quality of the picture I watched yesterday, things have been happening for these editions of Batball, the young coaches that have come through, the talent we hadn't seen before. Everything is setting up nicely to give everybody else a chance to showcase what they can do in this gentleman's game.
The Western Edition, the final edition of the Batball Open. This journey started in Soroti. Swing and a miss. Went down south to Jinja for the Nile edition. Moved back north for the Gulu edition. Came to Kampala with the Central edition in Entebbe. And to end here in Kamengo with the Western edition. And of course, a lot of work being done by Batball alongside their partners, Uganda Cricket Association, India Juris, and Cricket for Development for this particular one here in Kamengo.
Some beautiful hits we've seen here down the ground. Been picking them some good runs as the partnership continues to go into the nervous 40s. It's 10 overs per innings. You shudder to think how many are enough. We saw in the edition played, the Central edition, not so many runs, but the games went down to the wire. Close things there happening. It's the end of the 5th. 42 for none.
Yeah, halfway stage, but 42 means that if it keeps going like this, Oruyongoyongo will be in for a big total. Yesterday we saw that 75 runs were not enough in one of the games. Oruyongoyongo chasing down a very big total. Oh.
Missed everybody else, but there is a fine stopper who does a lot of work for nothing. It goes all the way to the boundary. Looking at this side of Oruyongoyongo, Emmanuel Odeke from Masaka says Bakingana Aaron from Chilembeses, the captain. The keeper, Kigwe Nakiru from Masaka. Asimwe Blair from Tare. Junju Ryan from Masaka. Ashaba Ivan from Tare. Katibu Isingoma from Kilembe. Kulu Jonas from Kilembe. Kwezira Enos from Tare. Bombare Xavier from Kilembeses. Tembo Cosmas from Kilembeses. And doing the 12th man duties, Bataringaya Kenneth from Tare. A good mix from the west. Swing and a miss. One of the best umpires in Uganda coming through the ranks lately. Standing out there in the middle, Eric Wandera from the Masaka Road end, where the action is happening from now. Good shot. That races down all the way. Not 4 runs, but makes a mess of it. Second chance, second attempt, picks it up, chips in the throw. All is good and safe in the end, but it's more runs for the partnership here. That is nearing a KPI of sorts if they get to that 50-run mark. Hopefully there's no commentators cast, because we'd like to see the KPIs ticked off here early.
Very lovely morning here at the Serenity Oval. The rains just passed by, despite the fact that it was all over the country. Ooh. It's a walk across the wicket. Across doesn't make any connection, but I think because they haven't lost any wicket, so now Oruyongoyongo trying to go for it.
He went for power there. If you just got any button to it, Dennis, that was going to go all the way to square leg boundary for 4. Some wide deliveries there. They will want many of these Oruyongoyongo. They need runs on the board. Every team sizing up each other very well. Not sure who is better than the other. So it is exciting as the last group match is played here to see who makes it to the playoffs. Solid shot, but straight to the fielder. I like the basics being displayed here by Oruyongoyongo as they bat first. I don't know how much more of armor they have in their ranks. It is with just 6 overs to go. Is it time to go with the 50 up?
Yesterday we saw that once that opening partnership was always broken, the rest of the batting lineup will come falling down like dominoes. So if Oruyongoyongo were wise, they are better off letting these two who already set, Emmanuel Odeke on 21, Chigwe on 22, let them continue playing throughout until the end of the game. But even yesterday, the name of the game was extras. A lot of teams were guilty of bowling too many extras. So we hope that today...
Talk about yesterday, Dennis. What were the highlights? Were there any big hits for sixes? Were there some big celebrations coming through on the Batball TV?
Yesterday there were some big shots. One of them is straight 6 onto the screen there, the side screen on the Masaka Road end. Actually, I thought yesterday when I was in Marvin in the commentary, I was telling him these other 19 boys are hitting very, very big 6s. I think they feed on different stuff at school these days compared to when I was in school.
Dennis, we know hitting boundaries was never your fault. So please stay away from the boundary talk. Leave that for a poor man's innocent Daula.
Yeah, if you look at the points table, Innocent, very little separate the teams. Oruyongoyongo may have one win and are in second place, but they have. Ooh.
That is, they say when you flash hard, when you flash hard, you get the reward because that's a high risk shot. Throwing his hands at it, he gets the boundary. They desire more of these. I feel they are operating below par because what they've done is they've taken care of that wicket column, the runs column. I'm not so sure about it.
Yeah, they are the batter. Emmanuel Odeke didn't know so much about the shot, but at least because there was no third man, the ball running away for a boundary, they will take them whichever way they come.
Christabel Abenaitwe with the ball. Touch and go. Good running between the wickets. You get a boundary, you get a single. Smart cricket all around, shows you the awareness. This Adivan Dennis, lots of cricket on TV. In my era and your era, not a lot of it. And watching cricket on TV was a very big privilege you only got in Logogo. Another touch and go one with the point standing back at the 30-yard mark. They run through quickly. Odeke and Kigwe, both in the 20s. You say the name of the game was extras yesterday. Today, just 7. End of the 7th, 57 without loss.
Yeah, very true, Innocent. Today the team's not so generous as they were yesterday. I think apart from Ignatius Tusime, who scored the most runs, the second highest run scorer was Mr. Extras.
Flashing blade. No runs, Dennis. Power has never been the way to go if you're looking for ground shots. The timing, the precision, incisiveness should be the way to go. Dot balls with just less than 18 balls to go, not what Oruyongoyongo need. They desire runs. See the captain of the fielding team keeping it very tight, a packed offside. Finally sends a sweeper down to extra cover. Big appeal, some little pain there. Enyawawa, I think they know that it's not wickets that will win them a match, but keeping things under check, under control. They do exactly that because the scoring rate, I believe 80 should be a gettable score here, unless they bowl some thunderbolts in the second innings, this Oruyongoyongo team.
Yeah, that's the thing that the challenge is now that Oruyongoyongo don't know how to move on from here, how to kick on, have that extra gear so that we can try and get the total moving quickly. They seem to be stuck for now, and that is affecting their run scoring. Dot ball is the king for Enyawawa, so they need to make sure they have as many dot balls as possible.
Right into the block hole, but in the gap. No call whatsoever from the batters, but a little stare at each other. They truly know there is a single on the offer. They take that with both hands, run through. Their hacks have not been getting any contact. Dennis, at this stage, what do you do?
Again, it's still a learning process for all the teams that featured yesterday. A swing and a miss. I think some of them don't have the skill to try and see how they can move the run rate going up very well. So all these are things they can go back home, try and work on with their coaches. It's a lot of work to do, but they need to find a way. Wicket time. Finally, the opening partnership of 59 is broken. Enyawawa pick their first wicket in the eighth over.
Broken. You say, I feel it was the right time for one of these two batters to go. They need new energies out there in the park. These two had outlived their stay, done their job. It was better for one to go now, because they need someone who can add impetus to the innings. 26 from 24. Victor Muhindo strikes, getting Emmanuel Odeke, relative to the Women's Development Officer. Call him a brother of sorts, Franklin Najumba. Good innings with a strike rate of more than 100, but not good enough in a 10-over innings. But as he departs, he creates chance for another one to come in, and maybe we see what happens, whether it's going to be them returning to the dugout for quick showers, or he can add a quick fire no, somebody who can give us 18 from 9. Strike rate of 200 is what they desire here going forward, if they are to get ever close to that score of 80. Eight overs gone, 59 for 1, just the two left. The bowlers have done very well. None going from, Christabel Abenaito went for 23 in his two, the only expensive one. A new bowler comes into the attack here. Starts with extras. They will feed off these ones. They're like gold dust to them in this particular innings as they move into the 60s now. Big flash outside off stump. Umpire Matthias Kamukama. He's not interested.
Yeah, Enyawawa now very intelligent, innocent. They decided to put a third man. Remember, a boundary went through that region previously when there was no one. But at least now they have someone in that region. Even if you flash hard and you get an edge, they have some protection.
Chance to run. He's to the fielder. But that extra time he took to go down to pick it up, he made sure they're home, safe, and alive.
Yeah, the full toss not punished. Enyawawa gets away with it. Scored a lot of runs in the first 5 overs. Oruyongoyongo, but now the runs have dried up and only feeding up to the scraps of extras.
There is a fielder there. Hit big, hit straight down the ground, makes a mess of it. The fielder there. 4 runs to the total. His teammates not very happy. Enyawawa unhappy on the park. Oruyongoyongo celebrate the boundary.
Yeah, Enyawawa being their own enemies should have been a simple fielding opportunity, but somehow the fielder connives with the ground to let it go through him for a boundary.
Hit again. Chance for the fielder to make amends. Much better this time from the boundary rider, who gets some special words from the keeper. He says, "Ni hao." He says, that's the way to go. That's the way you should go about the business.
No, they are up.
In the air, who wants it? He takes it. He sets off on a celebration. You can't catch him. You can't stop him. Big celebration there from a wicket late in the innings here.
Yeah, Innocent, I told you once the first wicket falls, the rest will all come down crumbling, and Oruyongoyongo lose their second. Full toss, gets off the top of the bat. Simple catch there taken. Some good celebrations as well. Some smiles for Enyawawa. Rewards for them for being resilient, because Oruyongoyongo looked like they were good for a big total, but now they are stranded in the 60s.
Started in the 60s is exactly what they are. Victor Muhindo struck first, getting the dangerous Emmanuel Odeke out. 66 for 2 now with just 7 balls left. Nazira Kigwe, the other opening batter, gone for 26 from 28. He held fort. We'll see whether it is enough. Hark across the line. Brian Ntungire ending his spell there. Beautiful figures, 1 for 13 from 2. With the only other bowler to pick up a wicket, Victor Muhindo, 1 for 16 from 2. 1 over left in the innings for Oruyongoyongo. Good shift, Dennis, from Enyawawa.
And that's a catch there again. Oh, what a celebration to go with it. Was over his head, but he made sure he settles himself under it and he takes it very well. Very, very good shift there from Enyawawa to come back into the match.
Last over here. They start with the boundary. If wishes were horses, they could do with more boundaries in the final over. They move into the 70s. Ronald Bwambale bowling from the Massacre Road end. He goes for power this time round. No connection whatsoever. Hit very hard, piercing through the gap, diving effort from the man in covers. There is help at the boundary from deep extra cover. 2 to the total, 6 from the first 3 balls of the final over. Ronald Bwambale fighting to make sure he ends up with the clean figures here with the hot blades from Oruyongoyongo. Big hit! Where does that go? It is a catch taken, but the no ball call. So the celebration is in vain. The high fives around the park. chance to add to the total. 8 runs from the first 3 legal deliveries. With the free hit coming up, looking out to be a very, very successful final over. Aaron Bakengana, the captain of Oruyongoyongo. Oruyongoyongo coming in here, Dennis, and getting a beautiful knock already, 11 from 5.
Yeah, the late cameo now sparring on Oruyongoyongo. If you're into the 70s might be a challenging total for Enyawawa.
Hit very well. You were talking about big sixes. We see one here early morning, early day, Holy Saturday, and this is very, very nice from the skipper, Aaron Bakengana.
Yeah, Aaron Bakengana yesterday is the man innocent who hit a big 6 on top of that screen. This time doesn't hit as big as the one he did yesterday, but he drops one into the factory. He's a strong lad, Aaron, and he's a man who will make sure that he pushes the game to the opposition. 79 now might be the highest total in the Western Region Open. Yesterday the highest total was 75, but now Oruyongoyongo already have 79.
Make that 80 with that 6. One ball left. Highest score of the Western edition. Final ball. Aaron dances down the wicket. Fielder doesn't get to it. They want a second. They will take it. He's calling in for a third. A little laxity in the field. And well, look at this. Fumbles and shambles as the inning comes to the end for Enyawawa. Oruyongoyongo get 3 from the final delivery. A very, very big over for them. And it's a 4 given.
Flashing blade there of Aaron Bakengana helps Oruyongoyongo finish on a very big total. A total that will challenge Enyawawa in their second innings. If Oruyongoyongo pick up this win, innocent, they will move straight into the final because they will go straight to the top of the table. They will need some big hits in Enyawawa in the second innings, but we shall find out when the second innings start in a few. We'll take a short break.
Umpires back in the middle, Eric Wandera and Matthias Kamukama. It's time to get underway. The biggest chess of the Western edition about to start. Enyawawa need 84 in just 60 balls. Onus on them to deliver. Big result here needed. A victory for either gets them to the final. Dennis, am I spot on?
A victory for Oruyongoyongo gets them to the final. And a victory for Enyawawa will mean that we'll need to wait for the net run rate to see if they can better the run rate of Kayonza, who are currently on top of the table. So Kayonza looking on nervously and maybe cheering for Enyawawa to make sure that they deny Oruyongoyongo the win. But Oruyongoyongo just need the victory to get themselves into the final.
Oruyongoyongo did the hard work in the first innings. That blade of Peter Odeke, 26 from 24. Nazira Kigwe, 26 from 28. And the captain, Aaron Bakengana, big flashing blade, a strike rate of 233 for his 21 from 9. One huge 6 straight down to the factory there. Under 3 boundaries. A record chase in the Western edition is needed by Enyawawa, who get their scoreboard ticking. They want 2, they will get 2. Not the best of fielding from the boundary. Could have been 1. The keeper makes his feelings known to the fielder. We deserve better from you, he says. No swing here. They have a fast slip in place. I feel it's a fielder wasted. But maybe because the batsman is throwing the kitchen sink at everything, they believe there could be an edge.
Yeah, Innocent, I don't think the batsman has any other option because they need at least 8 runs every over for them to pick up the victory. But a flashing blade outside of stump. I'm wondering if that slip will catch that ball if it gets off that bat moving at a very high speed.
That man who went for 23 in his 2 overs, Christabel Awenaitwe, asked to come and start the chase. You gave out too many. Come, give us a good contribution up front in the power play. Back-to-back extras. Wow. Have 2 runs from the bat, but 5 in total. 3 wides already. More extras. They will take this. Enyawawa dugout clapping for every extra because it counts to the total. Big hit, big catch, wicket up front in the first innings here, in the first over, I beg your pardon. Christabel Awenaitwe won't do much with the bat after going for 23 in 2. Scoreboard reads 6 for 1 in the first.
Yeah, Enyawawa losing their first wicket. Bit of a surprise there for the fielder. Looked like he was surprised that he had swallowed the catch. But he had nowhere to run because it was hit straight to his body. So the only option he had was to take that catch. Enyawawa losing their first wicket and a big wicket of Christian Abenaitwe.
The call is no ball. They want 2 runs. They won't get them, but they'll get 2 because it's a no ball. 2 to the total, 1 to the bat. Free hit time. It is the end of the first over here at the Serenity Oval in Kamengo, home of the Ceylon Lions, the Lions of Kamengo. But it's not about club cricket here. It is the Western edition of the Batball Open. Been all over the park with different themes and missions to fight, from fighting early pregnancies from the girl child to drug abuse, to fighting the scourge that is the AIDS, HIV/AIDS. Here we are with the Western edition. First over gone, 9 runs on board. They are scoring above the required rate, but they lost a wicket, a big one of Abenaitwe. Good movement from the new bowler, Ethan Tajo. Victor Mohindo are the men to do the work for Enyawawa. Jonas Kule with the ball after doing a lot of good work in the first over, swallowing that catch that was hit straight to his throat. Strength onto his pads. Wide is the call this time round. Massive hit, all swing, no connection whatsoever. Appeal for nothing. Run out chance missed. Ethan Tajo almost caught short. Tidy over here from Jonas Kule. He's been giving out extras. He gives out more. 2 wides in the over thus far. And it's the runs he's gone for, the 2 wides.
Yeah, Innocent, the run rate, the required rate slowly but surely climbing for Team Enyawawa. It's now 8.7. They need to find something. They need to find some big hits to get themselves into the contest. But as for now, Oruyongoyongo have made sure they put on the squeeze.
Jonas Kule wraps up a beautiful over his ball here, giving it 2 runs in extras. He does very well. After snapping up a catch in the first over, he comes and bowls a very good over. That first over, Dennis did go for 9 runs, just above what they required. Score now is 11 for 1 after 2.
chase is on. They'll pick up 2 runs. Enyawawa continue to hustle. They need a lot of hustling to make sure they get themselves close to the total. The outfield not very, very quick yet. It's still very slow due to the overnight shower. Oruyongoyongo won't mind the 1s and 2s as long as the boundaries are not coming. So the work has to still be done. That slip there is interesting me a lot. I don't know why it's there when you're trying to defend a total. Ooh. Oh, he comes into play finally. But it doesn't even stop the ball. He'll pick up a single. Run out chance completely missed, but again the extras continue to come for Enyawawa. This is going down to the wire. Enyawawa not out of the fight yet. They're staying alive in the match.
End of the third. 17 runs on board. Dennis, you like figures, you like numbers that require net run rate. Moving to 9.35. The extras keeping Enyawawa alive. Oruyongoyongo did work with the bat. They must restrict the extras. It will be very sad or absurd for them to lose this one after setting up 83 and then playing into the hands of the opposition and bowling so many extras. But we've not seen anything to show that Enyawawa will chase this down. No clean hits, no conviction with the bat. They need to play with purpose. Hit over the top. The result of protection. Long on stops that. Is the one it was from the start. Short ball, powerfully struck down the ground. Does that get to the boundary? No, it doesn't. Yes, it does. The indication from the umpire, 4 runs to the total. That was struck very well. The first shot of intent. More wides. It's a wide show here, Dennis. In the first innings, we saw Enyawawa giving Oruyongoyongo just 10 extras in this inning, 13 already.
Yeah, the Easter givings are starting here from Oruyongoyongo in the field. They need to just cut off those extras. There are way too many. Yesterday they were guilty of bowling the most in the whole day. So they just need to make sure they cut off the extras. Actually, yesterday, the only win that Enyawawa got yesterday, they nearly lost that game because they were giving so many extras to Kayonza.
Free hit death. Again, the batsman guilty of going with the horizontal bat. Misses everything. Hit hard. Bottom hand into play. Goes all the way to long on. They want to. Coming back for the second. The throw, not what you would like to see. As a keeper, as a bowler, as a captain of the fielding team, they get the 2 runs safely. Runs keep coming here. Dennis, you anticipated that this will go down to the wire, and looks like they're playing to your script. That is the end of the 4th here at the Serenity Oval in Kamengo. 30 for 1. Required rate is 9 runs per over. They need 54 from 36 balls. Anyone's game as it is for now, because Oruyongoyongo have been in a freebie giving mode. 15 extras. Of those 30 runs, they are scoring more than any of the batters for the opposition.
Nothing given by the umpire, Eric Wandera. Enyawawa only, for now, they're a bit struggling to get the ball off the square, but at least if they hang in there, they are getting enough extras to compensate for the dot balls. 30 in 4 in pursuit of 84 runs. Swing and a miss. Hit powerfully and very well. And that has the beating of the man at extra cover. The extras and the boundary will work well for Enyawawa, who need a lot more runs than that. But at least they're hanging in there. They move on to 34. We're into the 5th over. At the same stage, Oruyongoyongo had at least 59.
hit down the ground. Only for one. There was a chance. Looked like there was a chance for a second. That is the end of over number 5, halfway the innings. The second innings of this first match here between Enyawawa and Oruyongoyongo on day 2 of the Western edition of the Batball Open. Score is 37 for 1. Enyawawa need 48 from 31 balls. They have been lucky to get 17 runs in extras. 17 runs, the top scorer of the innings of their innings so far. Victor Mohindo riding his luck on 10 from 16. It's sort of a pedestrian knock, but Ethan Tajo 7 from 10. Christabel Abenaitwe was gone early in the innings in the first over, caught by Jonas Kule of Aaron, the captain's bowling early on. Chance for a run, no run whatsoever. Is the run out on? Throw not good. Hit hard. A man standing a short mid wicket could only look at it and watch it like a plane flying by. He's lucky to have protection. If I was the captain of the fielding team, I would send you down to the boundary already, because you're not helping us in any way by letting the balls go past you. They need runs. They play very well. And they get runs. It's boundary time. Tajo, Mohindo, right onto it. Big wild hack across the line, but it's easy here, Dennis, to forgive the batters or the batsmen, because they need runs. 9 runs every over is a stiff chase in any form of cricket.
Yeah, there's no time for having sighters. Everything has to go now, and everything somehow has to find the boundary. For now, the challenge Innocent has been that they are not scoring enough boundaries. They get the 1s and 2s, but they hit the ball to fielders, just like this case. Poorly done, misfield. Never run off a misfield. Chance for a run out. And it's given. Like we've just said, never run off a run out, or off a misfield. The batter committing the cardinal sin, thinking that he will have enough legs to get him over the line. But unfortunately, it doesn't get home. And then Enyawawa lose their second wicket. .43 runs from 26 balls is what is needed by Enyawawa at a run rate of now close to 9-10 runs every over.
The allure of runs here. Dennis Caesar Enyawawa succumb. That run out of Victor Muhindo. Hit hard, hit very well, hit cleanly. That is surely racing away, but not to the boundary. Super diving effort from the fielder. He saves a certain 2 runs. Could be the winning margin here.
Yeah, good, very, very good commitment there from the fielder. We all thought he was going to race away for a boundary, but I think in his head he was just telling us, guys, hold my drink, because something is coming up, and he's able to drag it back to just keep it to 2 runs. Again, Oruyongoyongo denying Enyawawa the boundaries that they desire to make sure that they can knock off at least 10 runs every over. We are into the final 4 overs, and they still have a stretch to go. 41 runs required.
4 for 2. They need 10 runs every over. No place to hide. Starting with the dot ball. Everything of desire for Oruyongoyongo. No ball is the call. Bowler asking the umpire. Looks like the keeper's gloves. Way ahead. Free hit chance with 10 required. Big hack. The fumble from the man at short mid-wicket gives them a quick run on a free hit, which almost went for nothing.
Batball Western Edition, final day. We don't know yet who's into the final and who's going to be part of the playoffs. But the 4 teams, Oruyongoyongo, Enyawawa, who are playing right now, are in
Big hits straight to the man. Is not taken cleanly. Poor goalkeeping skills. He parries it over the line. It is 6 runs. We will have a chance here for a replay because we are Portugal production.
Yeah, Innocent there, the fielder, unaware of his surroundings, takes the catch on the second opportunity, but he only parries it over the rope for a maximum. Welcome runs. The bowler bowled there when the batter wasn't ready. The batter doesn't know that you have the right to go away, to go out of guard if you're not ready. Yeah, the captain there, Aaron Makengana, trying to be very clever. Those are tricks we also used to pull when we were youngsters.
I know a couple of bowlers, Dennis, who do it in your team. Chance to work. They won't be working smartly if they play shots out of anger. Yes, they have the hunger. It is the end of the 7th over. They've done well this particular over. The 7th. getting enough runs there. 53 for 2 after 7. They need 31 from 19 balls. I beg your pardon, from 18 balls at 9.8 per over. It moves from 10 required, but still almost 10 is what is needed.
I think the wise teams, what they do, Innocent, is make sure that they win the game early and don't bother pushing it to the end. So you need to make sure that you go for the win now and then not later on.
Winning the game now. That man, Ethan Tajo, who started slowly with 2 from 7, is on 21 from 17. Already a maximum and 1 boundary to his name. Lugasa Abdullah Hakim, 1 from 4. He must step up the gears here. He needs to engage the bigger gears now. We are into the back end of the innings. Hey. Big hit. Where is it gone? The catch is taken. The shot was on. It didn't just land in the sweet spot.
Yeah, the shot going nowhere because it didn't have the distance and the height to go over the fielder. Unfortunately, Enyawawa lose their 4th wicket. Yeah, Enyawawa trying to make a charge for it, but unfortunately it's not going anywhere. Now Oruyongoyongo trying to make sure they stay in the contest. If they win this clash, Innocent, they walk straight to the final. They will have at least 2 games to watch as they rest and wait for the afternoon final.
Three wickets down. Oruyongoyongo continuing to remove pressure from the ball. Pressure from this innings of Enyawawa. 31 needed from just 16 deliveries. With every dot ball, with every wicket, the run rate goes up. Hit high up in the air. Who wants it? That is traveling. Misfield. Boundary time from a nothing shot.
Yeah, the fielder they are completely making a mess of it and just goes over for a boundary. They are losing the wickets, but also the runs are coming, so they are staying in the contest in Enyawawa. They're making sure that this game goes down to the wire.
Skipper Emmanuel, I beg your pardon, not the skipper, but one of the big players in the side, Emmanuel Deke with the ball. Shot of a left. Batsman getting no favor from the umpire. He calls it one for the over, but I would have loved the umpire spread his arms out wide. sports, you take some, you win some, you lose some. You can't get every decision going your way. They still have a man standing short covers in the 15 to deny the single. Point is standing in at 20-yard mark. There is protection at extra cover and long on, long off. Finally, mid wicket. Hit hard. They want a second. Misfield. Shambles from Oruyongoyongo in the park. Gives them a certain boundary. Out of nothing again, Dennis. They are playing into the hands of Enyawawa and keeping them alive.
Yeah, I don't know if Oruyongoyongo just want to make this game interesting. 2 gifts in that over have made sure that at 59, that even with 3 wickets lost by Enyawawa, the game is still very much on as it continues to go very, very deep.
61 for 3 after 8 overs. The required rate is 23. I beg your pardon, the required runs are 23. They need 11.5 every over. This is possible because if you look back at the other scorecard, Christabel Abenaito was hit 23 in his 2 overs. Looks like the captain will be going back to the slow bowlers.
Yeah, this is the most important over of the match. You need to make sure that your best bowler is actually in charge of this one, to ensure that in the final over, the opposition needs a lot more runs. So it can either be won or lost in this particular over.
Short ball. Batsman rushing, bowler rushing the batter. Back-to-back dot balls. The left-hander having no say. Lugasa Abdul Hakim is guilty of having batted up the order. Dennis, he's got 1 run from 7 balls.
Yeah, not the right man for the job right now, because you'd rather have a guy who can get you 7 off 1 ball.
Every dot ball is pressure. Every dot ball has the required rate. Required rate already moving to 13 now. 13.8. After this ball, it will be 14.5. It's a dot ball again. Is this going out of the picture, out of the equation? Ivan Ashaba strikes a wicket from a man who was struggling. Lugasa Abdul Hakim taken out of his misery.
Yeah, if I was Ashaba, I wouldn't have removed him actually, because he was working well for them. The next batter may be the dangerous one, and then the whole team plan goes down to the gutters.
It's an innings that Lugasa will want to forget very, very quickly. In a T10 match, you come and score 1 of 9 balls. You've really played for the opposition, dug your team into the grave.
Yeah, very true. Yesterday, the game Kayonza lost. We saw one of their clean hitters, Ephraim Bwembale, doing the same. He batted from the beginning up to the end, but only scored 11 runs from as many as 40 balls.
40 balls, that is 6.5 overs. You'd rather walk away. and say, it's not my day, it's not my day. I'm better off in the dugout. Wicket time. 61 for 4. 17 required from... I beg your pardon, 17 runs required every over. Two balls to go from one left-hander to another. Regan Kule comes in. Ivan Ashawa sends one down the leg, it's wide. Hit very well, but hit straight to the fielder. Misfield. He quickly apologizes to his teammates. These are kindergarten mistakes in the field. We've seen from Oruyongoyongo. They need to go quickly, look themselves in the mirror and work hard to improve from here.
Innocent, when you look on the replay, it looks very, very ugly because somehow the ball went through a massive body. Oh, chance put down. Ashaba not able to hold on to that, but at least he's done well to keep it to no run. The final over coming up of this particular encounter. We don't know if Oruyongoyongo have done enough to pick the result. Enyawawa need 18 from 6 balls. 3 big sixes, and we're out of here.
We have only seen one this early morning. If we saw another, it would be a beautiful sight. If we saw 2, it would be a perfect morning. If we saw 3, it would be the best show we've seen since day 1 yesterday.
Half tracker, the bowler gets away with it because that should have been landing somewhere in PG Town, and that would have taken the deficit to just 12 or 5.
Emmanuel Deke is a very lucky bowler. That could have been anywhere, could have been hit anywhere on this park. Finally, in the middle, does it go the distance? For runs. They needed a 6 here to stay alive and bring the required runs here closer to the single digits. If Odeke continues to bowl this line, it's bowling a line that gives the batters a chance to swing their arms. Odeke. Same length. Not punished. Umpire will do the concussion test. Good hit. There is protection, yes. The throw is good, then it's this game. Surely and surely it is done and dusted as a contest.
Yeah, barring any disaster, I think now all is set for Oruyongoyongo to move into the final. They will go straight to the top of the table because they have a better net run rate than Kayonza. Kayonza will have to involve themselves in the playoffs if they are going to get a chance of also making it in the final. They gave us a good game, Enyawawa. Nonetheless, they were in the fight for a lot of times. But now, even with that wicket, I think that spells the end of their run chase. Emmanuel Odeke, whose flashing blade got Oruyongoyongo a lot of runs, comes back with the ball in the final over and also does the business for Oruyongoyongo, who look set to be in the afternoon's final.
2 wickets in the final over for Emmanuel Odeke. 2 big wickets when Enyawawa still believed that maybe something could give. Well, the gift that keeps giving instead gives Oruyongoyongo. 2 for 13 are Odeke's sweet figures. 1 ball left. If there was ever anything like declaring in a T10 match, this is when you declare.
"13 runs, 2 hits away could get us into a super over, Innocent. Not over.
We have 1 ball left, so it becomes impossible. But you're right. If there's a no ball that is hit out of the park, the final legal delivery is muscled to Massacre Road as well. Here is Odeke coming through with the final ball. What can Odeke do? In the middle, flashing blade over point where there's no one. They're coming back for the second. Home safe and alive, but not good enough for the day. 73 for 5 is how it ends. And victory belongs to Oruyongoyongo, who win by 10 runs because they set 83 for 2 in their 10 overs and move straight into the final.